All right, Queen's Court here today. I believe Coach Mark and Coach Tim are here to offer up our suggestions to the Queen, our analysis and our picks here. Queen, listen, I already know I'm getting my head chopped off, so I'm just going to go for it. You're up, my friend. Set this up. Explain what we're doing here.
This is how he dies. Now I'm his friend.
He told you to kiss his ass at the start of the show, and now...
I said none of those things. None of them.
Well, Queen's Court is a fun little game we like to play where the gentleman will present a stock. It could be a long-term trade. It could be a position trade, a swing trade, whatever. The thing is, the Queen has to like it. So most of the time, Tim will get his head chopped off, not for what he brings to the Queen's Court, but how he presents it. It's not what you bring, it's how you bring it. Okay.
Hey,
so understand that.
Real quick, I am not a participant in Queen's Court today, but I am your executioner.
Oh, goodness.
Great.
Oh, fantastic.
Pull up a chair and come sit next to me. Sharpen up your sword. We're gonna go shopping today.
I got the grinding stone going on right now.
Oh, goodness.
All right, Tim, you go first.
All right. So company that grabbed my attention here in the morning as I was going through my news. Let's first start with Micron, if we can, MU. And semiconductor companies are a really interesting lot because there's so many different types of semiconductor companies. They don't all produce the same kind of product. And this is a memory producer, Micron, very fundamentally sound. For the very first time in their entire existence, they announced a dividend for the company. You, in fact, see that green little dot there on the bottom right of the chart. It's going to be in October, and that is a sign of fundamental strength, quite frankly. They also announced a very different part of their share buyback program. In the past, they had to buy it on schedule over a certain period of time. There was no timing to it, none of that. Now they're going to allow discretion into the share buyback program to at least as long as they get the money bought throughout the entire year. They've dedicated that amount of capital, a couple $billion. As long as they get it bought, they can buy it at different timing points as the CEO, the board also thinks that it's a better time to actually do it. Micron's in an interesting technical pattern after taking quite a bit of time off. In fact, I'm glad that you did come back to the weekly chart. The Fibonacci's can stay there because you're the executioner. I have nothing.
You better say something positive about where it's at on its Fibonacci retracement level.
On the weekly chart, which is big picture investor analysis, which Micron, by the way, is a great long-term stock. I actually think it has a trading opportunity here as well, Emily. It's got a 38.2% retracement into the 200 weekly moving average, two different technical catalyst points. Is that the 50 weekly moving average?
It's finding the 200 daily and the 50 weekly.
200 on the daily, 50 on the weekly, and it's got momentum characteristics that have changed here. You'll notice the three green candlesticks, but it had precipitous sell-off earlier in the year, slower sell-off, slowing momentum, reversal candidate on this pattern. And if we go back to the daily chart here from that perspective, I want to talk a little bit more about the company as we do, but I also like the short-term technical pattern here, and it's firing off today above the moving average and actually above a pivot point. It's a little bit messy from a swing trade, but I don't like Micron as a swing trade. I've never liked Micron, quite frankly, very often as a swing trade. It's not that type of company for me personally. I like it for cover calls. I like it for cash flow. I like it for long-term fundamental health. The company carries a 21 PE ratio right now coming off of the pandemic, forward P ratio at 7. Okay. It has a consistent model of profitability over the years. Mark has reminded me of this every year that I've known him, that he's been in the financial markets. Mark also loves this company. Rally today off of a W pattern on the daily into a potential breakout. And I like it two different ways. Now you can get tricky if you want to, Emily. You can go long equity, planning on writing a covered call once you hit T1. Now that is an advanced technique that we teach in the Tackle 25 system. We talk about that through coaching and mentorship. The idea is that you start out with a delta play because you got a signal, right? Fully anticipating that you'll write a cover call. Now that degree of difficulty is a little higher, but you're one of the best cover call traders I know. I know you could execute that. So I do think that is in play, or you could just flat out write a covered call. We're post earnings in June. About a month ago, we actually highlighted Micron's earnings. They had fine numbers. Nothing stood out. And they didn't get a great price response. But we were in a different market condition at the time where there was this malaise to it. Semiconductor stocks have started to pick up here recently. We saw the breakout on AMD. We saw the breakout in many other areas of the sector.
What do we say about breakouts on AMD, Tim?
Don't miss them. And we were 100% right on this one. Look at that. You don't ever miss breakouts on AMD. Broke out, took off. So this is where I like Micron. It's simple. It's not a momentum trade like AMD, but you got all of these backdrops that are going to create some support and stability for the company. And as Mark knows, they're flush with cash. They're well run. They got one of the best CEOs in terms of leadership and just flat out run the business. No, do not mess around. Keep it in the black, all that kind of stuff in this industry. If you just want to write a cover call, it's actually got great returns on it right now as well. 31-day contracts. You can pick up a couple percent. Not too bad. So Micron, covered call, or a straight stock play into a cover call if you want a little bit higher degree of difficulty. This is my Queen's Court pick for today.
Thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate that. Mark, see what you've got.
All right. So like the picks I've been bringing you the last few weeks have been into what I perceive as the strength areas of the market. It's been a tricky environment. Once again, there's the market's doing good, but that doesn't mean every stock's doing good. And I've definitely wanted to play into the strength of the market recently. Defensive picks the last few weeks, and they're holding up. I'm going to bring you a little bit more aggressive of a play. CLF, give me Cleveland Cliffs. I don't have a lot of specific theme-based things on Cleveland Cliffs, but I do like how this area of the market, the metals and the minings, the U.S. Steel, the Nucor, the Steel Dynamics, the FCX, how everything a few weeks ago, right? Everything sells off, Bloody Monday, things had been gone Thursday, Fridays. This area immediately started showing strength, and continued that strength. So while so many other areas of the market are still depressed that we're selling off, this is not one of those areas, showed strength. There's obviously some thematic things that can still boost this entire industry, this entire space. Infrastructure, you still got a global economy reopening. What I like about Cleveland Cliffs specifically in these themes, in this strength area of the market, is there's a lot of ways to play it. The specific technical pattern coming into today, where you have this move up, right? Start to stretch your legs, consolidate a little bit, pull back. It sets up from some momentum potential trading opportunities, whether forming a base here at the top and then a breakout, hovering down to a moving average and then moving up. But I like the flexibility that if I'm not in a directional mood, I still have some major moving averages rising on weekly and monthly charts that can act as support for naked puts down near horizontal support. The 20 weekly has been fantastic on Cleveland Cliffs during this run up. Come down seems to be one of those buying zones where individuals come in. You look down at the 20 weekly, if you could put that on the chart, it's just been one of those areas. And that's what I oftentimes do. If I get a bullish signal to the upward, but I don't want to go to the momentum route, if that's just not what I'm feeling, I'll look to sell naked puts down near horizontal support levels that are in conjunction with rising moving averages. You got a couple of them. You got the rising 20 weekly, you got the rising 9 monthly. Both of that can act as that bridge of support. And I like the premiums I get too, because I can't always just sell down into those areas that are, several. I mean, when you think about it, it's only a few dollars, but it's a pretty massive percentage looking at those areas, percentage of where the stock price is now, and get good premiums. That's not the case with Cleveland Cliffs during this run up. It's been a very, very cash flow friendly stock, to say the least, that even when we get volatility to the upside, there's been nice premiums on the way down. So I love the strength, just like I like strength in the market right now from a cash flow perspective. I don't want to get too creative. I want to let patterns play out in various areas that I'm interested that aren't quite there yet. I want to go to strength of the market, like the defensive areas that I've suggested the last few weeks. And I like this general area, and whether it's Nucor, FCX, but I think the particular situation Cleveland Cliffs is in is attractive from a flexibility standpoint on how you want to approach it. One last note. One of the things I love about Cleveland Cliffs, that if you go to their website, clevelandcliffs.com, they scoreboard it. They put their share price returns against Nucor and US Steel and Steel Dynamics right there on the front page, front and center of their website, and say, listen, these stocks are doing good. We're doing even better. And they put that front page on their website. I found that interesting, to say the least. So
they want to brag about the inflationary rate, huh?
It is literally front and center on the front page of their website. So
I would have some things to say to their CEO about that marketing message, but what do you think, Em?
If we were playing a game of locked in and you guys had CLF and MU, I would have probably said Mark was presenting MU and Tim.
I know it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Mark's taking the momentum stock and trying to trade a naked put on it, and Tim's taking the beaten up Micron, recovery analysis. It's weird.
Mhm.
Very weird. You guys are throwing me off. But back on MU. Really like what is developing here, and kind of like what you talked about, Tim, with AMD kind of taking off. Once they start to run, you kind of go and look and see what else is in that space that is, could potentially do the same thing. We've done these comparisons many times with, Costco and Walmart and FedEx and UPS and so on and so forth. So with Micron sitting where it's at, kind of clearing all those moving averages and sitting right there on the 50, it's got a nice potential to a run, and we can see where it's been before, right? Like you said, if you just went straight equity and started with just buying the shares and then covering it later, or just doing a covered call right off the bat, nothing wrong with that. For me, as much as I would love to just go long equity and cover it later, just kind of based on where I am with just being out and about and not really spending as much time in the markets, I would probably just go straight cover call. Maybe not start with the 40 delta, give myself a little bit more space, maybe go a lower delta just so I don't have to worry about having to manage the call. But definitely love that space, and I love the pattern on MU. You did call me M twice. I was counting.
Right. No, I was just saying MU, like Micron. I wasn't saying M. I was saying
no.
MU for Micron.
No, as a matter of fact, you said Emily. So we can go back and look. I counted. There was two of them.
Okay. All right.
No, he didn't. He said Emeron.
Oh, goodness. Oh. Let's take a look at CLF. I don't know. I like MU. I cannot kill you for just calling me Emily. This is happening twice, 2 weeks in a row. I really want to chop you off.
Don't you have some concern about the volatility level of Micron and covered call?
Go back to the options chain. Give me this.
I mean, it's not bad.
Give me the September.
Would you be looking to sell 85?
No, you're in October. Give me September.
Do you want the weekly?
No.
You want the monthly?
Yeah.
45 day.
I like the 85.
Yeah, that's probably
it's a known resistance level.
85 corresponds with T1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a known resistance level, and Micron's underperforming some of those other momentum ones, so I would be a little shocked to see it break out of 85 on one movement.
Yeah, that's probably where I would lean towards, is doing the September and 85. Yep, right there at that previous resistance level. So not bad. I like that one.
Yeah, and the
tough area of the market, though, semiconductors. You got some liftoff and you got some stuck in mud. This area of the market is separating itself. It's not unlike other areas where it's like that is a sector-based thing. These are completely individual stock stories in the semis right now.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's take a look at CLF.
Nice,
and by the way, a little bit of separation in the steel industry as well in recent history. You have the haves and the have-nots. Cleveland Cliffs just happens to be the best of the bunch. So my question I got for him is we're doing naked put analysis on the best momentum stock in the industry.
No, I said that there's flexibility that if you wanted
Mhm.
to wait for the trade setup, it could develop if that is your cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are you
again, for the
Can I ask a
queen,
question, then?
mhm,
Are you looking at ownership at 20 on the naked put, or are you looking at cash flow?
probably cash flow. I don't know enough about Cleveland Cliffs that I would
I
want to take ownership. So for me,
I
it would be
think
just straight cash flow.
seeing for me, I'm looking at Cleveland Cliffs and I'm seeing a breakout with momentum. I'm looking directionally here from a technical perspective. What's your hesitation directionally, other than you don't
None.
like no, not for you, Em. I'm like Mark. Like I know you're typically a little hesitant directionally, but the naked put at 20, and again, I just looking for moments of clarity here. If you're looking to sell a naked put at 20, I don't know if that would be an ownership level that you would want.
It's in conjunction with moving averages that I base.
So you're doing
those entry
some
points.
little longer term stuff that I don't know about. Gotcha.
While you were busy sharpening your sword there, executioner, he did ask you to look at the weekly and look at this.
Well, no. I try to keep up with him, but he gave me like 3 time frames in 3 seconds. I can't click that fast, so I couldn't go from the daily to the weekly to the monthly, and I'm just like I gave up on the monthly. I'm like, no, I got to switch time frames. Like, no.
And I guess my only hesitation on Cleveland Cliffs specifically is I love like the AMD breakout. I mean, I don't directionally trade much, but that thing was so obvious, right? And
Yeah, it was a good
sometimes
breakout.
you have these smooth trends. Cleveland Cliffs is it's a choppy little thing, right?
It can be.
It can produce some false signals like
Well,
it did.
it's still can be very choppy and
so.
very volatile. I mean, technically, this is the best momentum pattern that still has in the industry. It's leading the charge here. There's a couple others that are pretty decent. Just to give you a little bit of a visual, Coach Am, you got MT, which is not a U.S. based still company, but very similar breakout with momentum, pretty clean high base at the top. And then you have the little engine that always does, and that's still Dynamics or STLD. Looking at that long range neutrality, which we always love breakouts against long range neutrality, right? So Cleveland Cliffs, out of all of them, is set up more than the others, and that naked put, I think, cash flows regardless of the momentum. I'm just saying I wouldn't look to own at 20 in that type of volatility, because if it breaks, you're breaking a lot of the momentum.
Let's look at CLF.
Now, just to be clear, Mark, it was $20 naked put, correct?
Anything above the 9 monthly, which
You're gonna make me go out to time frames. Oh my goodness gracious!
so that would put it at 20. If you wanted to be more aggressive at 21, it lines up with some of the recent sell-off horizontal rough levels as well.
What month you looking?
September.
Which one in September though?
The regular monthlies.
45 days out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that 20.
See, I'm so cash flow focused. That's even though
Emily's
it's a
like
great directional trade.
I know, I get it.
I'm such a not a lazy, but I don't
You
want to
go on
do a lot.
vacation again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I have to stick with Mark on this one.
Well, you're getting 63 cents against 200. I mean, it's going to round out to be a really good naked put.
Yep.
And Mark, I don't like monthly charts a lot, but I definitely see what you're seeing here.
Yeah, and I
See
just
the kiss
really
there.
like it.
See the kiss there.
When you have some of the valleys and it forms up in a general horizontal zone and it lines up with something like that, I mean, it's treated me well for years, and so with the recent strength, that's where I gravitated.
I take back what I said about the 20, not wanting to own at 20. It's rock solid.
And if it wasn't the company, right? Because once again, ownership implies you willing to own this specific company. Cleveland Cliffs, that earnings report really impressed me.
Good company, very good company.
Oh, the queen is torn. She really wants to chop off.
Emily, I sharpened my blade for like an hour straight.
Okay,
I've been sitting there going like this.
You
I
do my
can't. I can't. I wanted to so bad. I was like, I like Tim's going with Micron, and I'm like, okay, you're taking a semi off the lows, but then when you look at the technicals behind it, it's like really it looks pretty
and
decent
that's what I
off
said.
the lows.
If we were doing locked in, if Mark had presented MU, Mark
Oh,
would provide
you and I
MU.
would have got executed. Like I would have put a lot of money on Tim taking Cleveland Cliffs. Like,
Are you guys gonna jibber jabber all day, or are you gonna make a decision?
Can I cut his head?
He just asked for it.
No, you don't know this.
Matt,
you don't know this,
please.
but if this was a movie, I would have already swung. Like when he opened his mouth,
Line him
my
up,
hands
Matt.
were
Line
coming through.
him up.
I was ready. He's dead. He's not talking. The dead don't talk, bro.
Line him up, cut him off,
Dead.
and kick him off the room.
Dead.
Done.
Cut.
All right.
Oh, I got my blood.